Shalom Israel. First and all praise to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. All praises due. Shalom to the elect, the 1/3 confusing the face. Today's video, man. Shalom Steve. You inspired me to make my little video, Destroy the Pharisees too. If y'all haven't seen Steve-O's channel, he made a video on Galatians 3 yesterday. Amazing video, go check it out. So he inspired me to get my video in on Hebrews 7 and 8. Also destroys Pharisees. So like I said, this whole chapter, man, both of them just kill Pharisees entirely, bro. The whole book of Hebrews, really, in a sense. But without further ado, I'll probably make two-part video. Hebrews 7 being one, Hebrews 8 being another. So without further ado, let's get to the scriptures. So this is Hebrews chapter 7, starting at verse 1. It says, "For this Melchizedek, king of Salem, priest of the Most High Power, who met Abraham returning from the slaughter of the kings, and blessed him, to whom Abraham gave a tenth part of all, first being by interpretation king of righteousness, and after that also king of Salem, which is king of peace." So this is going into who Melchizedek is. So if you don't know, Melchizedek was he was a king and a priest, and Melchizedek was Yahushua in his past life. So this is going into Melchizedek. When he met Abraham. He met Abraham, Genesis, I can't remember really for real, but it was when after Abraham got done slaughtering these kings, and Melchizedek came and blessed Abraham. And Melchizedek name means king of righteousness, and his name means king of Salem. He was the king. Jerusalem was called Salem back then. So it's called king. He was the king of Salem, and Melchizedek means king of righteousness. So verse 3. Still talking about Melchizedek. It says, "Without father, without mother, without descendant, having neither a beginning of days nor end of life, but made like unto the Son of the Most High, abideth the priest continually." So there's no record of Melchizedek's family, where he would die, where he was born, when he was born. So he's just like the Son of the Most High. He just came. He's a priest continually. Verse 4. "Now consider how great this man was, unto who even the patriarch Abraham gave the tenth of his spoils. And verily, they that are of the sons of Levi, who receive the office of the priesthood, have a commandment to take tithes of the people according to the law, that is of their brethren, though they come out of the loins of Abraham. But he whose descendant is not counted from them, received the tithes of Abraham, and blessed him that had the promises." So it's going into how Abraham even gave a tenth of his spoils to Melchizedek. And the only people who had that right to take tithes were the Levites. But it says the Levites weren't even born when this was going on, when Abraham was doing this. They weren't even born yet. So that's what I'm trying to say. So how great is this man that Abraham, the father of all of us, gave a tenth of his stuff, a tenth of his tithes to Melchizedek? Because his descendant is not counted from Abraham. He didn't come from Abraham. So how great is he? He didn't come from Abraham, and yet he still gave it tithes. Abraham gave tithes to him. Verse 7. It says, "And without all contradiction, the less is blessed of the better." So verse 7 is saying that somebody who gets blessed is not greater than the person who blesses them. So you know how Yahushua was blessing, Yahushua gave the disciples spiritual powers. He blessed them with spiritual powers. That's telling you that Yahushua is greater than the disciples because he gave them something. He blessed them. The person who blesses someone is greater than the person who he blesses. That's what that's saying. Verse 8. "And here men that die receive tithes, but there he receiveth them, of whom it is witnessed that he liveth." Verse 9. "And as I may so say, Levi also who received tithes paid tithes in Abraham." So verse 9 kind of confused me, so I had to read it in the translation. So I might actually just read out the translation, actually. Let me go ahead and pull that up. This is Hebrews chapter 7, verse 9. I'm going to read it out the Good News translation. All right, here we go. It says, and so to speak, when Abraham paid the 10th, Levi, whose descendants collected the 10th, also paid it. Also, let me get that New Living Translation. New Living Translation is what I wanted. Okay, Hebrews 7 and, what else was I getting? My brain went off. Oh, verse 9, okay. It says, in addition, we might even say that the Levites, the ones who collect the tithe, paid a tithe to Melchizedek when their ancestor Abraham paid a tithe to him. So they're saying technically the Levites paid a tithe to Melchizedek as well, because they were still in the loins of Abraham. They weren't even born yet. So Abraham paid the tithes for them as well. Verse 10 it says the same thing I just said. For he was yet in the loins of his father when Melchizedek met him. So the father is Abraham. So he said when Abraham met Melchizedek, they were still in the Levites were still in the loins of Abraham. So that's how you know that they say, yeah, they paid the tithes to him too. So now verse 11 begins the destruction of the Pharisees. It says, if therefore perfection were made, it says, if therefore perfection were by the Levitical priesthood, for under it the people received the law, what further need was there that another priest should arise after the order of Melchizedek, and not to be called after the order of Aaron? For the priesthood being changed, there is made of necessity a change also of the law. So it says, if the Levitical priesthood under the law of Moses was perfect, he said there's no need that another priest should arise. And who is the other priest that arose? That's Yahushua. Yahushua is the other priest that arose. And he was not called after the priesthood of Aaron, but he said he came out of the priesthood of Melchizedek. So he's saying that priesthood, since the priesthood got changed, that means that law has to also get changed. So that's how you know the law of Moses is not the law that we're under anymore, bro. Yahushua came under the order of Melchizedek. You can go to Psalms 110, prophesies. David said, I saw the Lord sit next to the Lord said to my Lord. He said, my master said to this master, sit thou at my right hand, till I make thy enemies thy footstool. He's talking about Yahushua there. Let's read verse 12 again. Let's read verse 11, bro. We got time. It says, if therefore perfection were by the Levitical priesthood, for under it the people received the law, what further need was there that another priest should rise? Another priest should rise after the order of Melchizedek, and not to be called after the order of Aaron. For the priesthood being changed, there is made of necessity of the change of also of the law. For he of whom these things are spoken pertain to another tribe, of which no man gave attendance to the altar. Verse 14, for it is evident that our master sprang out of Judah, of which tribe Moses spake nothing concerning the priesthood. So as we said, the Levites were the only people who could be priests. But it says the things that we're speaking of, this man came from another tribe. Yahushua did not come from the tribe of Levi. He came from the tribe of Judah. So in Hebrews 7 and 14, he came from the tribe of Judah, of which Moses spake nothing concerning the priesthood. So he says he's not under the order of Aaron, and he's not a Levite. So that means he's not he's sent for the Most High. He's not under the law of man, cardinal commandments. He's not under that. Verse 15, it says, and it is yet far more evident, for that after the similitude of Melchizedek there arose another priest, who is made not after the law of a cardinal commandment, but after the power of an endless life. Cardinal commandment referring to law of Moses, bro. The law of Moses is cardinal, it's fleshly, very fleshy. Everything, it changed the flesh, it doesn't change inward man. Verse 17, for he testifieth, thou art a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek. You can read that in Psalms 110, verses 1 through 4. Verse 18, it says, for there is verily a disannulling of the covenant going before, for the weakness and unprofitableness thereof. Disannul means to get rid of, bro. He says, there's a disannulling of the covenant going before. He says, getting rid of the covenant before. What was the covenant before? The law of Moses. Why did he get rid of it? It says, for weakness and for unprofitableness, bro. The law of Moses was weak and unprofitable. It had no profit. It was just for us to get in order, bro. And I'm so glad that I watched that video yesterday from Steve, bro, because now I understand why. Let's go to Galatians chapter 3, and let's see what the whole purpose of the law was, bro. Galatians 3. Where is it at, man? It was over here somewhere. Oh, yeah. Galatians 3, let's read, start at verse 19. It says, wherefore then serveth the law? So he says, why was the law even made? He says, it was added because of transgressions, till the seed should come, to whom the promise was made, and it was ordained by the angels of the hand of a mediator. It was made for our transgressions, bro, because we had no direction once we left Egypt. We left Egypt, we had no law, we had nowhere to go, we didn't know what to do, because we were so used to doing the things that the Egyptians did. We needed to get in order, bro, to follow the Most High. So that's why the law of Moses was put in place, to make sure that we didn't do, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. Because everything he told us not to do is something that the Egyptians were doing, bro. That's why he made sure that we didn't make our heads bald, because that's all the Egyptians do, bro. Don't square your beards, because you know the Egyptians, they got like them long ass, they got square beards, bro. They be cutting their corners and shit, bro, making like lines and shit, bro. All of that, bro. Tattoos, everything, bro. That's where it came from. All right, so we're gonna go back to Hebrews 7. We're gonna read verse 18 again. It says, for there is verily a disannulling of the covenant of the commandment going before, for the weakness and unprofitableness thereof. For the law made nothing perfect, but the bringing in of a better hope did, by the which we draw nigh unto the power. I'll read that again. Hebrews 7:19. It says, for the law made nothing perfect, but the bringing in of a better hope did, by which we draw nigh unto the power. Verse 20. And inasmuch as not without an oath he was made a priest. For those priests were made without an oath, but this with an oath, by him that said unto him, the Lord swear and will not repent. Thou art a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek. So he said, I'm not taking back what I said. I told you that this man will be he will be a priest forever. That means no one is taking Yahushua's spot, bro. You can't, nothing supersedes him. Whatever he says goes, bro. He did not preach the law of Moses, bro. He did not preach the law of Moses. He said, you can keep it, but if you're going to keep it, you got to keep all of it. And he said, it's impossible to keep the law of animal sacrifice. That's why these Pharisees are done, bro. He said that he said one jot or one tittle shall not pass away, bro. That means that you have to keep the whole law, bro. Everything, even the law of animal sacrifice. But you can't have the best of both worlds, bro. Nowhere did he say it. I'm gonna bring an analogy, bro. Matthias brought this out in the video. He made it a long time ago, bro. He was saying that, these Pharisees, they say that the law of animal sacrifice is done away with, right? So let's say roughly, out of the 613 laws, 100 of them were law of animal sacrifice, bro. He said nowhere in the scriptures does it say to keep 513 laws, bro. It says keep everything, bro. Pursuing let's go to James. James chapter 2. James 2:10, bro. It says, for whosoever shall keep the whole law and yet offend at one point, he is guilty of all, bro. You have to keep the entire law. Law of animal sacrifice included. You got to keep everything, bro. He said if you keep 612 laws and that one law that you forget it, like say out of 613 you keep 612, bro, and you miss that one, he said if you miss that one, you were better off missing all of them, bro. That's how bad it is, bro. That's how much of a yoke of bondage the law of Moses is, bro. You got to get out of that, bro. Law of Moses was in place for us just so we can have direction, bro. But these Pharisees, they worship it, bro. That's not what it was for. The law of Moses was done away with, bro. James 2:12 is what we under, bro. He says, so speak ye and so do. Speak it, meaning preach about it and do it, as they shall be judged. As they that shall be judged by the law of liberty. Law of liberty is what we're going to get judged by. Going back to Hebrews chapter 7. I'm gonna read verse 21 again, bro. It says, "For those priests were made without an oath, but this." Oh, okay, Khan. So that just hit me in the head. Okay, verse 21. It says the priests that were made without an oath. So the Levites, they didn't have to have an oath. It wasn't made with the oath. It was made with just by the bloodline, bro. If you're a Levite, you were a priest, bro. He didn't make the priests were made without an oath, but the oath that he made with Yahushua was an oath, bro. Or the promise that he made with Yahushua was an oath. Pursuing Psalms 110:4, bro. He said he swore and will not repent, meaning he's not gonna take it back, that you are a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek. He did not do that with the Levites, bro. He didn't say it like that, bro. He didn't do it like that. Verse 22. Let's finish verse 21 again. It says, "For those priests," referring to the Levites, "were made without an oath, but this with an oath." So it said, "But for referring to Yahushua, but he said unto him, Yahweh will swear and will not repent. Thou art a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek." Verse 22. "By so much was Yahushua made a surety of a better testament." Yeah, exactly, proving that he's talking about Yahushua here, bro. A better testament, a better covenant. Yahushua was made under the surety, meaning it's promised, bro. There's no taking it back. It's impossible to get rid of it, bro. Surety, 100% guarantee of a better testament. So why would you follow the law of Moses when he said that Yahushua's covenant and Yahushua's words is a better testament, bro? Why? Verse 23. "And they truly were made priests because they were not suffered to continue by reason of death." I'm reading that again. It says, "And they truly were many." Oh, so see, that's why I messed up. Hebrews 7:23. "And they truly were many priests because they were not suffered to continue by reason of death. But this man, pursuant to Yahushua, because he continueth forever, hath the unchangeable priesthood," meaning his priesthood can be passed off to somebody else, bro. Yahushua's priesthood is only for him, and it's not going it's not going to get away from it. It's not going to stem off from him, bro. You can't pass it to nobody else. That's his lot, bro. Nobody else's. He can't give it to no one else, bro. Verse 25. "Wherefore he is able to save them to the uttermost that come unto the power by him, seeing he ever liveth to make intercession for them." This shows you that Yahushua is the mediator between us and the Father, bro. He says they come unto the power, they come to the Father by him. You cannot get to the Father unless you go through Yahushua, bro. That's why it says he make intercession with him. Inter means between, bro. He is in the middle. Inter means middle. Verse 26. For such a high priest became us, who is holy, harmless, undefiled, separate from sinners, and made higher than the heavens. Talking about Yahushua. I'm gonna read that again. This is all talking about Yahushua, bro. It says, "For such a high priest," says Yahushua became us. Yahushua is what? He is holy, he's harmless, he's undefiled, he's separate from sinners, and he's made higher than the heavens. "Who needeth not daily, as those high priests, to offer up sacrifice first for his own sins and then for the people's." So the Levites back then, they had to make a sacrifice for their own sins first, and then they would get people's animals and sacrifice the animals for their sins to the Most High, bro. So they had to make a sacrifice for themselves and then for other people. But let's see see there's a colon after peoples. So now let's see the separation between the Levites and Yahushua being priests. It says, "For this he did once when he offered up himself." So the cutoff, the difference between the Levitical priesthood and Yahushua's priesthood is that the Levites, they had to sacrifice animals for themselves, and then they had to sacrifice animals for other people continually, bro. But Yahushua's priesthood, he did it once, and he offers himself. Once he offered himself, bro, and he only do that one time. He died one time, that was it. No one else had to do anything else, bro. No more animal sacrifice, bro. No more doing anything. He did everything, bro. He put it all on himself. You know what? I'll take everything for myself and put y'all under grace. That's what he did for us. Verse 28. It says, "For the law maketh men high priests, which have infirmity. But the word of the oath, which was since the law, past tense, meaning that came after the law, make of the Son who is consecrated forevermore. And another word for consecrated is perfected, bro. So it says, who is perfected forevermore. Yahushua was perfected when he became a priest, bro. So I'm going to cut it off right here. This closes out Hebrews chapter 7. Stay tuned for Hebrews chapter 8. Shalom.